This is the Story Power Marketing Show with Tom Ruwitch. Make yourself comfortable and fasten your seatbelt. Tom and his guest are about to share powerful stories, trade business building insights, and have a few laughs. Tom created this podcast to help you captivate prospects and inspire them to act so you can get more clients quickly and easily. That's what powerful storytelling is all about. That's what this podcast is all about. So let's get this party started. Here's your host, Tom Ruwitch.
Hello and welcome to the Story Power Marketing Show. My name is Tom Ruwitch, and today's episode is called How AI plus RI equals business success. My guest today is Asim Kumar. Asim is a solution architect who spent over 30 years unlocking multi-million-dollar networks for global enterprises. But his real expertise came from a harder place, 2 decades secretly battling fear and losses in the financial markets while building a celebrated tech career in public. That struggle led him to write Unblocked, the power of real intelligence in the era of AI. He built the Avigna methodology, which helps business people replace fear-driven, tech-first decisions with a balanced, disciplined approach to people, process, and technology, so they can move from fragility to freedom. Asim Kumar, welcome to the Story Power Marketing Show.
Thank you, Tom. I could have never done it myself. Your background speaks for itself, right? Thank you for a very illuminated introduction. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, it's your story, and I'm happy to have you here with me. And I want to hear more of that story. You spent 2 decades as a celebrated, successful tech consultant, sort of doing that by day while secretly struggling with fear and losses in the financial market and emotional losses by night. So what kept all of that hidden for so long? That's the first question I have for you. And what finally sort of cracked it open for you?
Yeah, so we have to go back in the mid-90s. So that's where my story started. So I was a very ambitious, basically go-getter type of a technical, like a network engineer was my startup. So early 90s to .com era. So that's where I had, my life was what? Indispensable, right? That's what we used to call it. I had the highest degrees in the world, highest IT certifications recognized all over the world. And then the 2000 came in. So we were very sought after. They were just throwing money at us. Like walking into the meetings was like, wow, foundation is unbreakable. I'm God. So that was the feeling. And then two years later, right, in 2002, when the dot-com crash really started showing real cracks, and every week was like a pink slip Monday for us. And I was seeing people, not just to brag myself, much better credentials, much better than me. They were getting laid off, and I was like, I could be next. And I mentioned I was a network engineer. So in networks, when we say any system that doesn't have a backup is a fragile system. So that was a time where I said, oh, hey, my life is a fragile system here. I'm only dependent on just one industry, one paycheck, and one it's taken away. I do not have a fallback. So I made the decision to discover the greener pastures that happen to be in the financial markets. And I took a deep dive in there, learned some tactics around here and there. But my premise was I'm highly successful technically, and then stock market is basically technical analysis. That was one of the things that we used to see. because back in 98 and 2000, everybody had a brokerage account. They were making money off the left and right without knowing what they were doing. And I had some success too, like the newbie success, what we call that, right? So I took some professional training around trading, and then started looking into it more seriously. And then I put some money into the markets. And that's where I learned over 95% of the traders and retail investors lose money because they
Yeah.
don't have a system. So so that was it. And then I started pursuing an MBA, thinking I would probably, this is something was ringing with me, and I wanted to switch careers eventually into the finance, like go to Wall Street, for example, right? So I, I enrolled myself into an executive MBA program in 2007, uh, and would be graduating in 2009. And guess what happened in 2008?
Oh, yeah.
As irony would have it, we had the global financial crisis right in the middle, and
Yep.
we had Lehman Brothers pitching. They would come as guests, and that was the company was attractive to me. I said, "This is where I would probably want to move into." And then I started preparing for CFA, which is the equivalent of the CCI that I have in the network space. They're both considered PhD of their fields. So I had my books waiting for my graduation so I can start pursuing CFA. And then when that crash happened, they were saying, "Well, I think your acres of diamond lies in IT." So I said, "I will stay there." And that's when worldwide technology happened right after they were
Right.
they were interested in that new credential that I had, and then the perspective I brought it from the government side of things. So but in the background, I was still pursuing different avenues on the financial market. That was like by the night that we talk about. And what I had learned from the professional trading is just to, this is a individual sport, especially on the retail trading. So that's why I kept it very quiet. That's what the secret life comes in, because you don't want to mess up with one. I was learning how the brain works, and um, all the psychology portion is all self-taught, part of this trading journey. So I was not very vocal around discussing too much because it just corrupts your brain, right? That was my belief at that time. And I still maintain that belief. Like, yeah, you don't want to talk too much about it.
Hmm.
Um, uh, and unless you're teaching somebody. So
Right.
that's the only time you do it, because I don't buy into that show off like Lamborghinis and destinations and all that. I say, yeah, good for you if you're making it, good for you, but I don't buy into that. I will never ever show that to anybody. That look what I have done, I can make you do that. No promises of such nature. So I take the hard way, right? Uh, so now, last 2 years, what we have been seeing the emergence of AI, right? And not just that, from the good side of things, it was from the bad side of things. A lot of secure jobs, like especially in the government services, uh, the people were getting riffed because AI is taken over. Of course, the administration change happened. And this was my third time around what I've seen the dot com, the financial crisis, and then last year was around AI and the global turbulence that we were going through, the wars and etc. So that's when I said, okay, now I've been in this thing for 30 years and I've had no opportunity to share. I've been doing well on the tech side. I've emerged out of the financial side. I know so much now, but I have not put out anything. I was totally
Hmm.
invisible. So basically, a lot of folks, when I used to go in some gatherings around social, like professional meetups, they said, I've never seen you before, but you talk pretty well. I said, okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I'm a very converted introvert. I used to be an ambivert, but over time with especially for this trading, made me more introvert than I needed to be. So I had basically two lives, like the weekend life and the weekday life, where I was trying to balance out. So basically, IT were basically taught me the solution architecture piece. That's where the systems are developed and all that. Financial markets taught me the human behavioral psychology. So I say, okay, what if I combine the two to come up with the resilient personal operating system that I use myself. And
Yeah.
that's the realization that became unlocked. And I said, okay, let me put this as a, like, not just a textbook, like a workable, executable manual, but it's more on the business strategy with execution on it. So that's where my story is, how this book came in. And um, especially on the tech side, when we talk about enterprise systems, we talk about the three pillars, right? The people, process, and technology.
Right.
Yes, it's in the we used to do multi-million dollar, billion-dollar proposal, and that's the circle we used to draw: people, process, technology, how we will deliver on those. And many times, like, you will not get that much success. It's all talk. So I wanted to bring that enterprise framework to the individual mindset, especially whether you are a trader or you're a technician on the IT side. It still
Yep.
applies. And I want to use me as that example. If you can do this here, how can you translate it over there? But the
Yep.
common process is, what I did not do in IT was people side. I never looked into, my gremlins did not come out in IT. I was like, yes, it will work today. If it doesn't work today, it will work tomorrow. But
Yeah.
financial markets, if you lose today, there is no tomorrow. You have to move on. Very different mindset.
Yeah.
So that's where I had to figure things out, and that's what I put it in the book. And what are the common frameworks? So it's not for an individual. It's not for the enterprise. This book, it's for both. That's why I have the pivot sections in them, and then I threw in the Avigna methodology that can apply to both as an individual, you as the CEO, you Inc., and an organizational leader,
The
because my
large.
belief is it's a top-down thing. When you're bringing a tech in, you can't. Uh, you have to buy in the culture first.
Yep.
So
Yep. And,
that's
and one of the core ideas in your book is that AI is incomplete or even destructive without what you call real intelligence, AI plus
yeah,
RI. So tell us what you mean by that. And in plain terms, what real intelligence is actually all about.
yeah. So today, if you see the studies around, like whether it's McKinsey or any big fours, the read is 70% of business leaders fear AI is going to outpace their ability to adapt,
Hmm.
right? So they try to outwork the algorithms. And then my message is, you will never ever able to do that. So artificial intelligence gives you speed.
Hmm.
You can't outrun that. But real intelligence, that's where I bring the second piece of the equation, is the unique human ability to pause and then empathize and manage behavioral risk, because that's where that's lacking on the, especially on the tech world, is the behavioral risk, because they don't understand that, because that comes from my financial market psychology
Hmm.
lessons.
Hmm.
So that's the RIP, is to be the judgment part, provide a context and direction to the technology. You can't, if you have, let's say, so before we go into this, I would talk about the alignment piece we have touched upon already, is the people, process, and technology. So
Hmm.
imagine a business which has very chaotic environment, and you're trying to bring in new tech because your competition has it. They're going for it, which I've,
Hmm.
I've seen millions of times. And what happens is, if you throw in something like an amplifier, like an AI, into that mix, it's going to be a chaotic environment at a speed of light. So the assumption sometimes people make, or many times people make in the leadership, is, yes, our people are smart. They can train themselves on the job. Like I said, you're going to be trying to outperform the technology if you just play a catch-up game. And it takes one bad outage, especially in the security world, one little mishap, and then all your savings in the training that you thought you were going to save is gone. So,
Yeah.
so it's a circular thing. So people first, and you have performance. That's why I called it a tripod of success. You have to balance it. So you can't keep throwing in technology and make that pillar so long that those two short pillars are going to topple your tripod.
Yeah.
So very common sense thinking, although it's
Yeah,
not very common.
and one of the key ideas in what you said is that AI and technology in general accelerates, it amplifies. And
Yeah,
if you're missing that human element, the judgment, the human designed systems, then what happens is that failures, broken systems get amplified and
very true.
accelerate as opposed to something instead of accelerating progress. And it's a critical error that I see businesses making, uh, not just with AI, but really this has been a problem with the race to keep up with tech
Yeah.
for as long as tech has played a role in building a business. That, we were talking about it before we began this episode, that I ran an email marketing company for 19
Yeah.
years before I sold it in 2019. And the thing that we would often see when a business was spinning its wheels in any way was that they would say, give me more tech. I need more advanced tech. I need a bigger machine, a better machine, and so
Yeah.
forth. And yet they did not have the systems in place to create better content, to make human connection with prospects, to build the business in a meaningful and methodical way. They were missing that real marketing intelligence. And when they just
Yeah.
threw technology at the problem, all they were doing was magnifying and accelerating the problem, not solving it.
Right. So in larger enterprises, at least they do spend some time in assessing what I call is, or the market research teams call it, the total economic impact.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you're trying to introduce a technology or new or a newer version of it, they have to analyze, okay, it's just like return of investment is one term, right? But total economic term is a little more broader framework where they look at all the other things. What will it take to train the people? What will it take
Mm-hmm.
to reprogram the processes, right? The business process re-engineering part. So it's not just the tech investment, like the capital investment. What will it
Right.
take to run it? The operational cost, right? So especially smaller businesses, they do not even look at those pieces. Sometimes I know that are not even aware of it, that we
Mm-hmm.
have to look at these things. It's after the fact, or we'll figure out when it comes. So
Right.
that's the mindset. So that's where my idea was about this book was, is how to change that mindset, give them a easy business strategy book. They don't have to go through an MBA school or anything. That these are the things in a business that you need. That's why I have the product pay chapter or a service chapter. What are the elements you need to be looking at in order to succeed in your business or your solopreneurship or entrepreneurship? So those are the things.
And and all of that is part of the Avigna methodology. So tell us about the methodology and give us a sense for the business person who's listening to this and saying, you're right. I need to be more proactive than reactive. I need to get ahead of this.
Yeah.
What is something that they can do on Monday when they return to the office, or this podcast episode will land on a Wednesday? So, what's something they can do on Thursday or on Friday to begin to be more proactive, to put into place the Avigna methodology?
Yeah, so Avigna methodology is not one framework. So it's a book of about 8 total frameworks. The
Uh-huh.
first one is a very foundational one where we talk on a personal level. What I call is EPDF, is the energy, patience, discipline, and focus. That's very meant for the leadership, the solopreneur, that they need to ingrain that me first. Like energy management is one because I saw that drained out of me, part of the slaps I got from the financial markets. Basically, uh, all the things that we talk about on the negative voices happened to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
loss of confidence, like the confidence I came with and the slaps I got, and then said, okay, show me the reality. This is the real you, and that's what's coming out on the financial market side, right? So that's where the E came in. How do you manage your energy? And then patience and discipline were the two that I discovered, and they are pretty universally applicable. And
Mm-hmm.
so discipline is part of the process. So the PPT, so talking about the book structure, right? It has an alignment phase where I talk about the tripod of success. That's the one methodology. Then the second phase I talk about is the measurement phase, where we talk about the product, the service, and the profit. These are the
Mm-hmm.
elements of a business. So you either have a product or a service, but the end goal is profit. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'll expand on that a little bit later. And then third piece is the execution phase, right? Where we do the modernization piece, whether you want to modernize or go about it, and then talk about work. It's the one of the messages in the book around the methodologies. You need to start rethinking work. So it's not the traditional. So the strategy I took to write the book, every chapter is name is an acronym. So
Mm-hmm.
product is an acronym, service is an acronym, profit is an acronym.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take me a long to expand on it, but
Yeah.
yes, I encourage people to just look into it. It's available on Amazon, but the structure is such. The idea that I want to give is you need to start thinking differently. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in this era of AI, that's where you have to develop more focus on the real intelligence. Is rethink work, rethink how the profit. People think yes, it's just money making. No, it's sustainability you're thinking of. Give you an example. P is basically your positioning. That's your marketing term, positioning. R is the revenue, revolutionary revenue. It has to be recurring, not like oh, buy once and forget about it. O
Right.
is the operational overhead. So you have to think on in terms of okay, how much you want to put it. Um, and then I is the innovation. It has to be innovative, and T is the actual transformation that you have to reinvest in your business. So that's the definition of profit. Is yes, the profit is not just I'm being selfish. I need to investment uh, back into the business and grow from there. So I
Yeah.
basically giving the framework to for the new coming those individual solopreneurs. They're talking about AI billionaire is going to come out as a solopreneur. So it's a framework for them as well. Like yeah, that's the definition of profit. You can rethink how to do it. So
Yeah.
on the execution side, I talk about work. When I say rethink work, work is willingness to obtain real knowledge.
Yeah.
WORK. So, and then underneath is your hard work and smart work. Again, two acronyms. So you will be tired of acronyms because I think I live
Yeah.
in that world. Everybody says, "Well, there's too many acronyms." So you come to IT, you will be flooded. You will have, in a book, you'll have 20 pages of acronyms. So
Yeah. Yeah.
get used to it. So again, it's a brain exercise too. If you think about it, like if you
Yeah.
can think it differently, come up with a word is good for your right brain, for all
Yeah.
the left brain people. So.
Yeah, one of the big promises of your book and of your methodology is that transformation from fear to focus. And you've alluded to this already, that a lot of people are very afraid of AI. AI is coming for my job. I can't keep up. There's a whole lot of fear out there.
Yep.
So you're working with people who are feeling so fragile about this, about AI
Mhm.
taking their jobs and so forth. So, what is the very first mindset shift that can move someone from fear to focus? How can they get over this fear?
Okay. So focus again is part of my execution phase, and focus stands for finding opportunities,
Hmm.
creating unlimited success. That's my definition of focus. There's a
Yeah.
focus, yeah, you need to be focused. And then from a business perspective, focus is finding opportunities and creating unlimited success. So getting away from fear, how do you look for opportunity? So I'll back this up with one of my own examples in a bit. So um, so when I say moving from fear to focus, the first thing I talk about when people say, "Hey, Asim, AI is going to take my job," I said, "No, AI by itself not going to do it. It's going to be somebody who's going to use AI that will take your job. It's not going to be AI by itself." And I've recent AI summits like Jensen has said it from NVIDIA. He used the same line. Chuck Robbins from Cisco, he's been saying the same things. So that's, I don't know how much more validation people need. Is all these bigwigs are saying that nope, and that's where their layoffs are coming, because they are filtering out people who are not embracing AI as much, and they're keeping those people who have already demonstrated that this is what I'm doing with AI. So you need to start small with that mindset. So so instead of looking AI as a fearful thing, look it as an opportunity to develop.
Hmm.
Now, coming to my example, what did I tell you myself? I'm a network engineer with security and financial background. I was never a software programmer, right?
Right.
The first thing that used to come when I came from India was, oh, Indian guy, he must be a software engineer.
Yep.
No, I was an exception. And then I have many others to prove them wrong. So I used to just hate programming for whatever reason. So that's why I had too many switches in my undergrad, and eventually picked network engineering as my niche. And then uh, and as of again last few years, people have been asking, Asim, what is this automation? And I don't like programming. So people were saying you need to learn Python, you need to learn this in
Hmm.
order to stay relevant. So 2 years ago, when I started doing the research. And I found the companies like Replit, Lovable, B4, right, the Base 4, these were coming up with vibe coding, right? And that's what I did. Once I got my book on my hands on December 4th last year, I said, now I have the book. Now I can shift my focus on doing something to prove is vibe coding myself. Like, so I picked Lovable as my platform, and I basically build a coaching app based on my frameworks from the book in 1 week.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Production
Fabulous.
ready, paid application in 1 week. And then earlier this year, my whole website has been converted using vibe coding, and I created a training program using vibe coding. A non-programmer, I did not hire anybody.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it was a
Outstanding. So
good thing.
where can people go if they want to see that website?
It is avignallc.com. It's AVIGNA LLC.com.
Yep.
So you can read about me there. So you have the training, you have actually there are some offers around the Audible books. So if people can go run, grab it, they can get a free audiobook on the
Yep.
website as well.
The
And the book
free.
is,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's on avignallc.com. So that will be the center place. And you can connect with me, and you can book a clarity call with me if anybody's interested, whether you are a trader or tech, or you need some career advice around how to move around.
Yep.
That's what I'm focusing on. Coming from B2B and B2G, I'm slowly trying to help out on the B2C.
Yep.
And I'm trying to build my speaking portfolio as well. So I'm looking for those opportunities as well. Like if anybody's interested, I can come out and speak. So
Very, very good. AvignaLLC.com. You can get the audiobook. There's some free assessments, other resources available. And where should someone go if they want a hard copy of the book?
they can get the hard copy book from Amazon is the easiest one. And then I have it published around 69 countries. So they will search. Uh,
Yeah.
as far as the ebooks are concerned, we can go on Google Play, Apple Book, Barnes and Noble. You just name any public or platform, they should have it. But
So the book is
Amazon is the
available
one.
wherever you get your books. Yep.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
So,
Very,
so
very
there is
good.
a ebook, there's an ebook version, and then definitely the paperback version is there, and the audiobook is on basically your Amazon as well. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So Asim, any parting thoughts before we call it a day?
Yes, definitely. The message that I've been giving anybody who comes in my contact about this is the concluding remarks. I said, howsoever you want to do it, just make a decision to balance your tripod of success.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. For before that, you do the assessment. Like Tom, you alluded, there is a free assessment on my website. Take it, and from there, see where you are missing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tell them, no matter what you do, you are the solution architect of your own life. And you are more than capable of moving from your fragility to your freedom.
Beautiful. You are the solution architect of your own life. I think that's a great parting thought. Asim Kumar, thank you so much for your great insights. I encourage everybody to go to avignallc.com to get the audiobook, get the assessments, other resources, or go wherever you get your favorite books and get a copy of the book in paperback or digital version. For all of you who have stuck around to the end of this episode, I thank you for tuning in. If you liked what you heard, go to Amazon or Apple or Spotify or wherever you get your favorite podcast and click that 5-star button and leave a review. That's how you share the gift. That's how you let people know that Asim Kumar had something valuable to say and the Story Power Marketing Show is worth a listen. Thank you in advance for doing that. And thank you again, Asim, for being a great guest. One last thing. If you want to learn how to transform your content from boring to brilliant, from prospect repelling to client attracting, so you can stand out as the human to choose in your niche, go to storypowermarketing.com, where same kind of thing. You can download free resources, assessments, the Storytelling Hall of Fame. You can sign up for my never boring emails. And then if you are looking to actually execute a plan, build a plan, execute a plan without all the tech headaches, without juggling the bowling balls, go to implementum.net. Think implement, momentum, mush them together, implementum.net. And that's where you can get strategy, tech, and team in one place to actually execute a winning business strategy so that you land more clients without working yourself to exhaustion. Asim Kumar, last time, thank you very, very much. And thanks to everybody for tuning in to the Story Power Marketing Show.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me again. And this was a pleasure, real pleasure, that like with a much more experienced person like yours sharing my thoughts. And thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Story Power Marketing Show with Tom Ruwitch. If you liked what you heard today, visit storypowermarketing.com/resources, where you can sign up for Tom's entertaining, informative, must-read emails. Download free business building resources and discover other opportunities to help you harness the power of storytelling. That's storypowermarketing.com/resources to help you captivate prospects, inspire them to act, and grow your business with greater ease and joy. Also, please remember to subscribe to the Story Power Marketing Show with Tom Ruwitch and review it on iTunes or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Sometimes